The next one is going to be Amazon. So anyone here on the live, if you want me to look at a ticker or have a question or something, put it in the chat. If you just got on here and we'll go over it. But I want to talk about Amazon briefly because a lot of people have been asking me about it. It had a split. Why is it? I don't want to say like why is it so good for a split, but can anybody tell me one of the major benefits as a trader for a stock splitting? What is one of the major benefits for a stock splitting? I'm gonna see if you guys, you know, caught up on this as a trader. Why would we like Amazon no longer trading in the 2000s and now being at 125? Let me know in the chat. More investors. All right, potentially options trading. Options trading is the main thing. So Andreas, Josh, Eugene, BG, yeah, options and also liquidity too, Rob. But it's really options because before, if you're going to even get a weekly option on Amazon, it's going to end up costing you about $2,500, maybe even $800 or $900, right? When the underlying is priced higher, then your options contracts are going to be priced higher as well. So when the option is, or when it's lower, the options market is going to be worth less money per contract, which is very, very good. Yet we're still going to have a shit ton of volume because it's Amazon stock. So if you're somebody who likes to do put credit spreads, cash secured puts, like you can actually sell cash secured puts on Amazon now, which is something most people couldn't do because it would cost you like 20 something $1,000 to sell a cash secured put. So that is a major upside for Amazon being here. Now, let's go to a weekly chart. Looking at Amazon, this thing moves on a bigger time frame in a very orderly fashion, right? You can see that if we go through, we have usually sideways movement for years and years and years, followed by a massive breakout. So you can see from August 13th, 2018, all the way up until right now, up until about April 27, 2020, we moved in this horizontal fashion and then had a massive breakout. And then once again, you can see same type of movement that from about August 10th of 2020 up until about, 1 month ago, we had a horizontal movement and looked like we're going to make another breakup. We didn't, but look at where we bounced, right? And this is why I always tell you guys, like, of course, support and resistance is very important, but when you look at a bigger time frame, it's going to give you a full picture. The reason we bounced on this support is because this was $2,000. So what would be $103 right now was $2,000, and $2,000 at the time pre-split was a massive, massive move. In my opinion, personally, and I know a lot of you guys are not going to be like happy for me to hear this, I don't think Amazon is worth a trade right now. What could this potentially be? Can anyone tell me what this move could potentially be here on the weekly chart? What would this be called? A blank bounce. But for me, it's just not, the juice isn't worth the squeeze for a trade. Because if we were to push up here, let's say from 126, I'll actually go through and I will throw out my position planner. So say we were to enter a position here, major resistance is up at like 150, which is a 20% move. Next spot to support is about a 20% loss down at $100. So a risk versus reward ratio of 1 to 1 is just not worth it. It's really not worth it. So for me, no. Tide, dead cat. Yeah, it could be a dead cat bounce. And a dead cat just happens when we have a massive sell-off followed by a recovery bounce. And this bounce, I'm not saying this is what's happening here, but this bounce traps a lot of bulls and then it rejects and sells off. So for me, I think Amazon long-term is phenomenal right now. Personally, not something I would be trading. We had this double bottom, little janky, potential inverted head and shoulders, but I really wouldn't be trading this personally. If we can push up through 126 and hold, see how we had this breakout, this false move here today? We had this false move. If we could have actually held up over 127, we can get a run up to 135 and then potentially up to 160. But for me, risk versus reward, it's not worth it. Would you explain why a stock split is good for options? Yeah, it's good because when the underlying price of a stock, so when Amazon stock is cheaper, the options are cheaper. And the reason that is good for the options market is more people will participate in options. When you look at the options market, there's not that type of volume that you normally see with shares. Like some contracts might only have 10 or 20 volume in a given day. So the options market is important if you're a small retail trader and you only have a couple, maybe $10,000, $15,000 to trade with, and you don't want to go throwing your entire portfolio in. You don't have to do that now. Now you could have done spreads before, but if you're somebody who's playing options, they're going to be cheaper now. Let me go through some of this. So for me, I would be skipping Amazon at